We're talking about habits of transformation. Kevin's been doing a fantastic job with that. And I get the privilege of doing number 4, habits of the hot 6. Habit of transformation number 4. Let's jump right into the PowerPoint. All right. Habit number 4. We're going to be talking about authentic trust cultivators. Habit number 4 is we connect authentically, we cultivate trust. Guys, I love this one, and I'm going to stop share for just a moment. And just this is the one thing to me that really sets Optavia apart from every other company, every other program that's out there. Is we are about authentic connections. The integrity of the company, what we have is very real. And we're not trying to get anyone. It's never about that. When we see someone, we don't see them as a dollar sign. We're not looking at a person thinking, well, what can this person do for me? It's never about that. It's always about, what can I do for this person? Is there a need that this person needs? Is there a partnership here that would make sense? Are they, we're looking for those real, authentic, genuine connections. And I think that's just what sets Optavia apart. We connect authentically, we cultivate trust. Habit number 4. We always come from a place of empathy and compassion for other people. Empathy is defined by the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experience of another. And I like the way Brene Brown puts it. Empathy is communicating that incredibly healing message of, you are not alone. Guys, we've all been there. Optavia is about personal development. Optavia is about lifelong transformation. As we transform our bodies and our minds, we're helping others to transform as well. Whoops. There we go. So how do we connect authentically? What's the goal here? There are some skill sets involved. The building blocks of being in Optavia and growing your business are acquiring clients, assisting clients, acquiring coaches, assisting coaches. Well, let's replace that word acquire with partnering with, or building relationships with, and these are skill sets that we can learn. So you build a relationship with your clients or with your coaches through meaningful connections, conversations, being fully present, and simply listening intently to one another. For those of you who have had the privilege of talking with Dr. A, if you haven't, and I hope you get to sometime, let me tell you what you can expect. You will never see that man looking at his cell phone when he's in a conversation. It doesn't matter if you're an integrated presidential director or a brand new health coach or even a client, that man will give you his undivided attention. Wherever you are, whatever the situation is, he will never be on his phone. He sets an example for all of us, and I love that. I love that about him. So let's talk about communication. Communication, the words that we say, the words that we speak account for only 7% of communication. The other 90% of our communication is nonverbal. Albert Moravian's 738-55 rule of personal communication, he quantified this. Words, tone of voice, and body language account for 738 and 55% respectively of our communication. Think about that. 55% of our communication is our body language. And this is why it matters. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's a key point right there. So let's talk about 6 rules of becoming a good listener. These are the skill sets we need to learn. When you start honing in on this, becoming better and developing this skill, that's where you'll see your business begin to grow. When you're talking to someone, look at them, make eye contact with the person, lean forward and listen intently to them. Don't cross your arms, don't lean away, don't look away, and for heaven's sakes, never look at your cell phone when someone's talking to you. Stay on their topic and don't interrupt. No one, I know we don't interrupt on purpose or maliciously, but we find a key word sometimes, right? When we're talking to someone and they'll say that key word and it reminds us of a story or a point or whatever. And we jump in, we get excited and we start talking about that thing. And we completely derail the conversation when that happens. Stay on the person's topic. Don't interrupt. And be aware of body language. Look for those indicators that I was talking about, the crossed arms, leaning away, not making eye contact, and be aware, whether or not you are doing it. And use their words, you, yours. What is it you want? What would you like to accomplish? And then practice reflective listening. Repeat back to the person what you're hearing. So what I hear you saying is, you would like to lose 50 pounds. You would like to have more energy. Am I getting that correctly? You would like to have more energy to play with your kids. That's a great goal to have. Repeat that back to them. That's reflective listening. That communicates to them that, yes, you're listening. Yes, you understand. And yes, you have their goals in mind. So this is fun. Let's look at some pictures here. Imagine this is your health coach. Is this a person you want to kind of share your story with? If this is your health coach, is he engaged with you right now? I love this picture. This gentleman's pretty bored. What about this guy? You want to share with this guy? Do you feel like opening up and sharing your stories with this guy? Do you feel like he could help you? What about him? How do you feel about talking to this guy right here? Probably not so much, right? I don't think he's interested in my story. I don't think whatever it is that I'm hoping to accomplish, I don't feel like he has my goals, in mind. What about her? Anybody want to talk to her? See how her arms are crossed? It's not the body. What you do with your body says a lot. Now, what about this guy on the left? If he were your health coach, would you feel like opening up to him? I think we're getting a little closer now. See how he's open? He's squared up with the lady. He's smiling. He's leaning forward. This is an example of someone fully engaged into this conversation. I like this picture right here. Imagine this is the client on the left and the health coach on the right. The client is a little nervous, a little skeptical. See how she's turned away? She has her arms crossed. She's making eye contact. She's politely involved in the conversation, but she's guarded. Whereas the health coach on the right, look at her. She's open, she's squared up, good eye contact, she's smiling, warm expression. These are examples of how your body language matters when you're having a conversation. So then practice, diminishing some words and use more of other words. Don't say as often I, me, my, and mine. Use you and yours a lot more. It's, I think you should do this. Well, I think if you were to, avoid words like that, but instead use, what is it you would like to accomplish? What are your goals? Making others feel important. We can do this, guys, by, first of all, listening to them. People love to talk about themselves. Give them that opportunity. Don't derail the conversation. Don't interrupt. Make eye contact. We saw that in the pictures. Be sincere in your praise. Find reasons to praise when you see something being done properly. Done well. Be sincere with that praise. Be generous with that praise. That adds value to the conversation. Pause before answering. We like to jump in and tell the story because that keyword we heard. We want to make this point, but pause. Allow the conversation to breathe just a little bit. It adds value. Never interrupt. We covered that. Acknowledge people. All of these things, when you add value to the conversation, when you add value to the person, that's increasing your value as a health coach. Because remember, people aren't buying a $400 kit. They're buying you. What are they getting? We want to create a positive mood. I like the picture of the two young ladies here. Look at this conversation that's happening. Imagine this is a health assessment being done where you just sit down and have coffee with somebody, which is just such an ideal thing to do, right? Just sit down and have a real conversation. That's what we're doing. We're not Again, we're not trying to get anyone. We want to have a real conversation with people, and just see if there's a need. See if there's a fit for what we have to offer with something, with a need that they have in their life. But see how warm this conversation is? The first few seconds of a conversation sets the tone. When you come in with your looking away, with your arms crossed, you lean away, your body language is going to communicate a lot of things. Charlene, she talks about energy a lot. You are sending out energy, and the first few seconds, people are judging that conversation in those first few moments. Your smile, your tone of voice, your body language, they speak volumes. So when you improve these things, you're going to improve the conversation. When the conversation is improved, trust is developed. Back to the habit of health. We connect authentically. We build trust. We cultivate trust. Learn and remember their name. This is a good exercise to do. Something I like to do is, someone, if I'm talking to Kevin, hey, what's your name? My name's Kevin. Kevin, how do you spell it? Is that Kevin? I'll try to spell it. That helps me to remember the name. But it also, it's adding value and showing that I actually care about them telling me their name. These are little things, I know, but they matter. Little things are big things, because people respond in the way they are treated by others. When you put out that positive energy, you're going to receive that positive energy back. Well, our goal when we connect with someone, we're helping them make an informed choice. Again, it's not about getting them. It's not about seeing a person as a dollar sign. We're looking for a fit. We're looking for a need. We could call that a pain point if you'd like. So we can do that just by asking questions. What is it you want to accomplish? What are you looking for more of? What area of your life would you like to see more? And just in a conversation, I'll ask them about their job. How's your job going? Well, it sounds like you work a lot of hours. Do you enjoy being that busy? Do you enjoy working away from home? Because you don't know what someone's looking for, but when you ask enough questions, worst case scenario, you're showing a lot of interest in their life, but you might be identifying a pain point. Well, no, I hate working 60 hours a week. My goodness, I would love to be able to work from home like you do. Oh, really? Well, would you be open to a conversation about that? I would love to talk to you about that. It's really easy and I love doing it. You're just looking for that opportunity where you might be able to help them and give them a reason to say yes. Is health coaching attractive? Do you make it look attractive? Help someone determine if our offer, what we offer, is a match to what they need. That's the bottom line right there. So for clients and coaches, smile and be fun and be attractive. Back to health coaching. Do you make it look attractive? Imagine a new restaurant opens in your town and you go try and you have the best dining experience of your life. The food was great. The service was amazing. Your waiter or waitress they were fun and engaged, and you just had an incredible dining experience. You would go out and you would tell all of your friends. You would want to tell, oh, you got to try this new restaurant. It's so good. Oh, and you got to try the chicken. It was amazing. You would sell that. You would make that look attractive. I don't like to use the word sell, but you get the point. You would make that dining experience be very attractive. Do you do that with your coaching business? Do you make being a health coach look attractive to other people? Think of it this way. What if you just graduated from college, you got a 4-year degree as a health coach, and you spent however many thousands of dollars to acquire that degree? Would you treat it differently than you do now? Think of a doctor, a doctor promoting their own business. Do you promote your health coaching business in the same way? Make clients and coaches feel like they're the only ones. Add value to that. I like to tell every time I work with a new coach, I make a point of telling them, you are my top priority. That's important to me to tell them that because, first of all, it's true. They are. When I start a new coach, I want to pour into that person. I want to do everything I can to help them. Take notes when you're talking to someone. That shows that you're engaged, that you care, that it matters enough to you, that you want to not forget these things. and be consistent and professional. So, like I said at the beginning, these are skill sets that we learn. We're not all perfect at these. Watch other people. Charlene's a master. She is so good at talking to people. She knows how to connect very well. Watch people like her or other people. The leaders of this company are incredible people. Watch how they interact. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Follow the leaders. See what they do. Kevin is fantastic at talking to people. The way Kevin, engages with someone, the way he shows interest. Watch the leaders and watch how they do it. Because you can develop these skills. If you don't have them now, you can work on them and develop them. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. You decide if that's going to happen. You're not perfect, and that positive interaction with people it's an art. There is a science to it, and understanding those rules of communication, how much your nonverbal communication comes into play. The more you understand that, the better you're going to become at this. People skills take time to develop, but it can be done. So I'm going to wrap it up with this slide right here. These are some great books to read, for developing these skill sets. I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of this or whatever. I'll leave it up for just a moment. But each one of these books just touch on this subject a lot more. So I hope that was helpful. Anybody get any value out of that? I hope it was maybe some aha moments there for a few of you. So Kevin, I think that wraps up my presentation. If you want to have some final thoughts here.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much, man. One thing I'll add in, Alan, there's not really anything to add to that because it was awesome. This is a little different is what I'll say is, this is something I'm guilty of and something I'm learning. And it's kind of one of those skills that you have to think about a little bit, but don't listen to your clients, listen for your clients. And Alan really talked about that with the reflective listening and being fully present. But when you start thinking about that and be like, well, I listen to my clients. Yeah, sure. But are you listening until you're waiting for your turn to talk? Or are you listening to what they're saying, and then you're going to repeat what they're saying back to them and validate them in that way? That's what is the difference between listening to your clients and just waiting for your turn to give them the answer instead of actually taking the time to listen to what they're saying, because what you might have in your mind as a solution actually isn't what they need to hear. They need you to validate what they're saying and then give that back to them with some truth or with some purpose. And if you know me, if you know the answer, just put it in chat. But what is always the answer to a question that someone gives you? Does anybody know what I always say about that? We'll wait for it. Somebody knows. Another question. Yes, holla. So the answer to a question is always another question, because what our jobs are as health coaches is to dig deeper. And it's hard to dig deeper if all your clients giving you a surface level and all you're turning around and giving them is answer, or you're giving them answers and solutions. You're not actually digging deeper in and figuring out what really is going on. That's like when somebody tells you, oh, that sounds really expensive. I don't think I can do that. 9 times out of 10, it's actually not that they don't have the money. There's something else going on, and be like, oh, what if you had the money right now? Is that something that you would think you would go for? Is that something that you would pursue if money wasn't an option? And they're like, well, I didn't need to talk to my husband. Or I need to talk to my wife. I mean, there's always something else. Go in a little bit deeper and figure these things out, because even if they say not yet, because we know there's no no's, right? There's not yet. But even if they say not yet, you have magical follow-up skills now. Of course. You have magical follow-up skills now because you know why they're interested in doing what you're doing and what is holding them back. So that's the magic in actually listening for your clients and even potential clients. And same as potential coaches. When you drip and you layer and you seed plant coaching on people and they aren't ready yet, it's a not yet, it's not a no, but what's keeping them? What's holding them back? If that's something they're not interested in, why? Dig into that, because that is what's going to unlock the keys. we'll talk about this more later because we don't hold Alan up, and I want to give y'all some time for questions if you have them. But or somebody will say something. It's about 70 to 80% of people don't say yes at the very beginning. They say yes after being exposed to it like 5 to 7 times. So if you only ask somebody a couple of times about something, they're gone. And the follow-up, it might have been time 3, or it might have been time 5, or it might have been time 7. And that's when they actually said, okay, I'm ready now. But if you don't follow up with them, then you lose that opportunity. And you can't follow up well without listening to what they actually want or what actually is happening in their life. So anybody want to come off mute, ask questions? I challenged y'all last week to have questions. So I know if you were here last week, I challenged you. So I'm just gonna be sad. I'm just gonna be sad if nobody has a question about anything at all. But I'll mend my broken heart. I have a cruise to mend it on. But I would love for y'all to ask some questions if anybody's got them, or if anybody has anything they want to talk about. We got a few minutes. Laura, Alan, you want to take this? What's your favorite ways to drip coaching? See what you got to say.
My favorite way to drip coaching is constantly, always, always, always. I look for every opportunity that I can, even if someone says, well, I drank almost 100 ounces of water today, or I got all my water in this week, that's amazing that you understand the value of hydration. You are going to be a great coach when you're ready. I present it as if it's almost, a guarantee that it's going to happen, because honestly, I mean, they have so much more to gain than I do. And I really do want that for everybody. I want everybody to become a coach. So I just drip and layer from the beginning, every opportunity that I can find from the very beginning, and I never stop.
Amen to that. I will say too, just to give you a little insight on me, you might already know it, but like it's easy to drip from day one, because if you are passionate as a health coach and you love what you do, which I know you all do, then talk about that for a hot second in your 60, 90-second share when you're doing a health assessment and what coaching has meant to you. Because when you talk about not just what your transformation was and say, I lost 66 pounds in 3.5 months and it really changed my life. I say, and I also became a coach, came home from nursing, and that's my real transformation was when I became a coach. And that is actually dripping coaching, because they're hearing about coaching for the first time. And then when you start talking about them having family and friends that are possibly interested in, their mind starts going there. And then like Alan said, come in behind that and, oh, you're going to be an amazing coach because you already get this, or you're doing so well in this, or you're following this to a T. There's so many opportunities. And I put a post in the group today about that. But honestly, it sounds maybe like, if we're going to have real talk for a minute, it sounds like I'm probably crazy, because I'm like, every opportunity is an opportunity to drip some coaching. But if somebody's struggling on program, if it's accountability they need, that's a coaching opportunity. If someone's doing amazing on program and they're sending you referrals, that is a perfect opportunity to explore coaching again with them, or drip it, or layer it, or whatever. Everything's an opportunity to talk about this, because if they say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this next month because it costs this amount of money, then they don't have healthy finances. So could you offer them coaching and potentially change their financial health in addition to their physical health? Yes, you have that opportunity. Do they have to say yes? No, we know. And that, one of the best things that you can do as a health coach is get used to hearing no and be okay with it, because you know that it means they're just not ready yet for that opportunity. And then it doesn't break your heart. You just move on. So anyway, that was a great question. Thank you for asking that. Anybody got anything else you want to add?
I like this next question here too, Kevin, that Laura asked you. How did you get rid of your preconceived misconceptions of offering coaching? For me, that one was fully realizing how big our offering is. I know what it did for me. Everything changed overnight for me, from the standpoint of health to finances and the freedom that I've gained by being a coach. And I want other people to have that. but realizing how big our offering is and what an impact it can make on someone else's life, that has busted every concept I've ever had. And we all have concepts. That's such a natural thing. And we just learn to overcome those concepts. But what helped me to overcome every single one of my concepts is realizing how profoundly this could impact someone's life in a positive way. You know, I've been doing this long enough that I've seen people's lives change dramatically, like years and years, decades being added to people's lives. You know, we've got a coach who was terrified he wasn't going to be around to walk his daughter down the aisle because he had a major health scare. His daughter is almost 20 years old. You know, now he's looking forward to meeting his grandkids. When you can have an effect like that on someone, when a program like this can change someone's life like that, then I realized this is not about me. Whatever concept I have, I've got to get rid of that right now, because someone may be desperately praying for an answer. And it's not always health. It might be finances. Do you know $400 is enough money to avoid divorce in a lot of cases? You know, that's the average. The number one cause of divorce is finances in this country. And $400 is enough money to reverse that decision a lot of times. It's easy to make $400 as a health coach. So, you know, it's not always just about health. You never know what someone's pain point is. And when you can identify that, but just realizing that this is not about me, you know, I've got to get myself out of the way, and I need to be bold with my offering, because it could make a huge, huge difference for so many people. And you never know who's on the other side of someone either. You know, someone might only ever be a client, but they refer a friend that might be a Kevin Rogerson who becomes a global director, impacting thousands of people. You never know that. So I don't want to be a stumbling block to someone who might be a rock star.
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you, Alan. I think that's perfect. Spot on. I think the same thing. Like, think about, you know, you can go to yourself for some reflection sometimes on these things, because obviously I think when we start coaching, the more we grow, the more we realize that this ain't about us. It's about the other people that we can help, like the other doors that we can open for people and create opportunities for others. But when you do some self-reflection and really think about where you're at because of coaching, then you start thinking about how real this is and how much of an opportunity this is for other people too. And you do bust concepts that way. Same thing, like most of you guys up here have faith and you believe in Jesus and all that stuff. Like, if you look at this in a similar concept, like if somebody came to you and they were dying, like we know they are, and they have these issues going on, and they ask you, you know, I've heard that you love Jesus. Like, what is Jesus about? Would you get caught up in your own head and not talk to them about Jesus? I mean, I think most of you would at least talk, share something. You might not know what to say, but you are giving someone an opportunity to change their life while they're on earth, right? While they have the opportunity to be here, they live a more abundant life. I think about me, because that's what I say. This is your self-reflection piece, because you all have your own story. I think about me working Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, every weekend, 12-hour shifts, and being away from my entire family, not going to birthday parties, not going to weddings, not like it wasn't even a possibility. If somebody tried, we got an invitation to this, nope. Like, that is the power of what coaching has done for me, in addition to being amazing accountability for my personal journey. But coaching is so much more than what we even understand or know yet, because there's levels that even Alan and I are not at yet that we're going to still have our mind blown, you know, as we go, because there's things that even we don't understand fully because we haven't experienced it yet. But that's where we start talking about dreaming big, you know, like start dreaming and then start dreaming big and start having these stupid goals. Like, I want to have a beach house in Hawaii one day as an extra, because I can, and because we can make an Optavia retreat and y'all could just come, you know. Well, guess what? It's not just me, it's you. You can do that. You can do that and more. And it's sometimes I think you see people like Alan and myself, and we're running over now, Silas. You see people like Alan and myself, and you don't believe that you can do what we're doing. I can promise you there's people that started Optavia after Alan and myself, and they are doing more than we're doing. So it's not that there's some kind of cap on you because you're Kevin's coach. Like, please blow the lid off and go do whatever you want to do and help 5,000 people in the next 2 years get healthy, because you can, because you have that power, because we all bought the same coach kit. And and it's not about what you actually physically receive from the coach kit. It's about what you give back from receiving that. So anyway, you guys don't have any more questions. Thank you. We went over for a little 4 minutes over, but Alan, thank you so much for coming on. It was great having you, and you guys have a blessed night. Great seeing you all. Before we close, just for a minute, like, I want to address this with at least the people that are on, and then I'm probably going to make a post about it. But I am going on a cruise. That doesn't mean that I am untouchable. So just because I'm on a cruise doesn't mean I'm not here to help, because I will have internet and I will be able to help you guys. So I am releasing you from any future guilt of reaching out to me while I'm on a cruise for the next week, because let's just agree that y'all are going to do that if you need to. Okay. So please reach out. And besides that, y'all have a blessed night. Love you guys. Alan, thanks so much. Can't wait to go talk to your team, because they're epic and amazing too. And we're going to close out team time here. Talk to you later.